Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, everybody. Welcome. We are live on location today in front of Sweets and Treats right in downtown Blyth. We are doing the big reveal of the accessible renovation here in this heritage building. How old is this building?
Established in 1888.
This is Colleen and Shane. Nice. So here we've taken this really old building that had one step up and we have made it completely accessible, and we're going to show you everything today. We're going to talk to Colleen and Shane about how they did it, why they decided to do what they've done. But before we get started, I need to thank my fashion sponsor, Pick-a-Posy. Thank you, Jennifer. There we are, for all of my wonderful outfits. Loving this necklace today. Okay, so here's the building. There's the sign, and we're gonna look at the sidewalk. There you can see downtown Blyth in both directions. I know, my super awesome videography going on here, right? And those of you that are watching, just drop in the chat where you're watching from. And as we go along, if you have any questions or things that you want to know about how any questions, just drop them in the chat. So I'm going to flip around my laptop and we're going to roll right into the building. Here we go. So you can see, how's that from an angle? Can you tell? All right, so you can see that's where the step used to be. So the entrance was at the front of the building, and now they have moved the entrance to the right-hand side of the building and sloped the entry in to just make up that 6-inch, would it be? About 6 inches, right? So it's really hardly much of a slope even compared to the sidewalk, like Shane said, right? Automatic door opener, awesome color contrast between the door and the opening space. And here we come in, and you can feel there's the threshold. It's like 1/8 of an inch, hardly anything at all. So from the back side, here's the opening. And you can see the automatic door opener right beside the door. The door swings out. Nice little color contrast in that entry area there. And black trim around the door. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So we're in the almost finished stage of the renovations. There's still the, the, whatchamacallit?
Trim.
No, the yellow stuff. What's that called?
Oh, scaffolding.
The scaffolding. The scaffolding's here still in the building. And so this is going to be Sweets and Treats. And we've got Sweets and Treats right here. So do you want to say hi? Tell us who you are, where you're coming from.
Hi, I'm Francis. Woo, there we are. I'm Francis. Deb and I own Sweets and Treats.
Oh, yeah. And there they are, right? Some samples of...
We're so excited to be in here. It's a wonderful space. Perfect. 14 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Colleen and Shane have done an awesome job in here. We're so excited.
Yeah.
And that's made about 16 new products to come out and try.
Right on. All special for Blyth.
So the 19th to 20th, you really got to come down.
Right on. That's great. I will definitely be here.
Bring your appetite.
For sure. So we're going to look at the space inside. And although not everything is quite set up, we'll come back. Maybe we'll come back on opening, and so that everybody can see how the space is actually set up from an accessibility perspective. They're going to have a nice low counter here and a gelato machine and all of that. And some of the features that Colleen was pointing out to me, there's going to be some lower, there's counters here below the window behind me. And then on this wall here, there's going to be an accessible height. And you can see that outlet. Nice. Be able to reach that, plug my phone in, use some in-town internet. Woohoo! I'm going to see a lot of me here. But you know what? The winningest place of all here is, of course, the bathroom. Do you want to unprop the door and we'll do the full demo? So here we are. This is the winning bathroom. Automatic door opener. Stays open nice and long. And we've got motion sensor lights, child-sized change table, toilet setup, and accessible sink setup. So we're going to look specifically here. I'm going to use the child-sized change table as my camera stand. Let's do this. There we go. So here we go, right? Tall toilet with the toilet seat lid for leaning against. 3 grab bars, all at proper heights. Fold down grab bar, cleaner. But look at this. There's that emergency call button, right? So if I'm seated on the toilet, I can reach that emergency call button. If I'm on the floor, I can also reach that emergency call button. So instead of it being up here and, out of reach, Shane and Colleen have put it in space where it really is going to make a difference. Hey, have you tried this out yet?
Yes, we have. You can try it. Yeah.
We're going to do a demo. Woo! Yeah, it's like, it's loud. And that's the great thing about a system like this. If it gets hit accidentally, all you have to do is pull out that button and it shuts the system off. So I want to introduce you to Colleen. Come on in here, Colleen.
Hi.
Hang out in the bathroom.
We're hanging out.
We're hanging out in the bathroom, right? So tell me about this bathroom and why it's so amazing.
Well, I've listened to you for a long time now. Intensely, and we've gone to different conferences as well, where I've learned a little bit about accessibility, and I think accessibility is really important. I think that just putting a little bit extra in a washroom to make it comfortable for everybody to participate in town is really important. And so it was really excellent to have Julie as an advocate, and her book is amazing. It's just like everything is right there. Like my son was helping me put in things, and we're referring back to the book, and we're measuring it.
So great.
No, and it's really easy. Like it's not complicated.
It's not a giant code manual where some of the information isn't even there, right?
Yes. And you know what else I liked about it is you made it real life too. Like some of the codes that were there didn't make sense, and so you've made it real life because you're the one that's in here, dealing with this stuff. And so I think some of your hook placements, like you do need, more places to hang things because you need your hands for everything, right?
Exactly.
So those were the kinds of things that you wouldn't even think of, but are really important to somebody who needs an accessible, inclusive bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And what about beyond the bathroom? Like you guys have been working on this space for a while, and like I know it was a bit of a struggle in terms of that entry, right? Mm-hmm. How are you going to deal with that step? So tell me about sort of the thought process that you went through in doing that setup, because it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of worked well for retail space too, but we tried to go as low a slope as we possibly could for a renovation, just because as soon as you have to increase or decrease your slope for a higher height, then you have to go further into your retail space.
Exactly.
So it made sense to push it one way or the other. And so the way that Blythe is to the north, the slope is higher, it goes higher.
Right.
So our slope is less on the on the sidewalk.
Sense. Yeah.
So we went to the north side of our building, our frontage, and that's where we made our entrance.
Right.
And so that made it easier and made it less of a slope for the wheelchairs to get up.
Right, and it's not even I don't even think it's considered a ramp because it's not even steep enough that it would be. It's not even 5%, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the percentage is.
Yeah,
but it is.
And the way you've set it up with the door opener is at the beginning of the slope, right? So you can push that door opener, and then as you are rolling up the slope, the door has the time that you open, that it needs to open so that you can get through it.
Yeah, exactly. And it pulls out so that there's more retail space and more room to move around once you get into the store.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, let's roll out. And actually, no. Before we go, I want you to show these pictures to our audience, because it really speaks to planning.
Yes.
Right. So Colleen's got some images here of the backing that they did around the toilet. So there's the hole where the toilet is in the floor, and what she's done is she's taken a photo. She's even printed it to show where they applied the backing, so that they know that when they attach those grab bars, that they're actually putting them where the backing is. And they've also done all that measuring. You can see Shane's measuring tape there in advance to know that, the distance from the center line of the toilet and the height of those grab bars as well. So super, super smart to take the time to take the pictures and then have them as a reference for you as you go.
Yeah, exactly. And then if a new retailer comes in and they want to hang something, these will be with our retailer as well as with us.
Right.
And so they can refer to it so that you might see the black line. Whoops, I can't do the backwards thing. That's an actual tube that you shouldn't puncture.
Right.
So that's actually what this is also good for that.
Exactly.
So it saves us as building owners damage that could be really bad, but it also really helps with anybody if they wanted to add another hook, a higher hook, or something else on the wall. They have this diagram.
Yeah, and even the location of the electrical as well, too.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah, exactly. That's true too. Yeah. So so we have a lot more of these because it's a lot of square footage, but you can get an idea of where the backing is. Yeah,
great. Okay, we're gonna go out to the storefront and have a look at the accessibility out here, right? So we've got. Actually, you know what? I want to talk a little bit about the history. Colleen, can you talk to us a little bit about the history in terms of the structures and like some of the design work that you've done here?
Yeah, well, this building was renovated many times. It was town hall office, it was the Bell building at some point, and then the last tenant was the Citizen.
Right.
And so it's set up very much like an office situation that was probably renovated in, we're guessing, the 80s.
Right.
Just because of the stripes on the walls and the paint colors and all that, we're guessing that. And so this building was built and established in 1888, and it was one of the buildings that did go through a fire, but I like to think of it as being born in 1888.
Right.
And everything that we've done, we've tried to bring back 1888 as best as we can, but with more updated codes and structure. And so I was searching for windows for our front facade, just to make it appealing and a little bit different. And so I have an antique person that did a great job at finding these beautiful windows.
They're so good.
And these windows actually go right down to the floor inside when you looked at the front.
Yeah.
And we just put in new thermal panes, so they're good for temperature and everything.
Yeah. And sound too, right? Like there's a lot of traffic street. Thanks, Scott. Bye. That's Scott Miller, CTV News. He was here talking to us. So keep an eye out for that coming on the news tonight as well. Anyway, so the sound is a lot reduced because of the glass that you've installed in these buildings too.
Exactly.
And that just makes for a calmer environment inside as well.
Exactly. And so and the history of these too, we think these windows might be from the Goderich Collegiate way back when they did the big renovation.
Oh, that's so neat.
I know, I'm still trying to find pictures. So anyways, that's the history of that. These windows were also included in that. And then our doors are all of the doors are antique doors.
Right.
Like they're old doors.
Yeah, and you've painted them up and they look gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you and Shane. Hey, Shane, can I pull you away? I wanted to talk to you guys because I know that some of the people listening and watching are wondering about the time that you took to do this and like, how did you afford to do these renovations, and what was your?
We can't afford it. No.
Who said about anything
Because
about
I know people want to know, like that's
Yeah.
always the number 2 question. The number 1 question is, what do I need to do? And then the number 2 question is, how am I going to pay for this? How much is it going to cost? So, like, from the work that you did, the accessibility part of it, how, like, I know you're not going to be able to give me like actual numbers, but how much of what you did from an accessibility perspective was like a major increase in cost, and how much was just like a cost of doing renovation?
When it comes to doing renovations, is usually, I always break it down into cost per square foot. The difference with accessibility is you require more square footage.
Right.
So it's inherently costs more money to do accessibility just because you require more space. Now, the bathroom, how you kind of can work around that to save money is you have one bathroom that anyone can use.
Yes.
So rather than building 2 bathrooms, you build one. You save on toilet, sink, plumbing for that, but you get expenses like door openers, bars, other things like that. So it still is more expensive. It would be beneficial, I think, if our government could help people do this without you hear a lot of stuff that they do help, but when you go to apply for it, there's all kinds of restrictions, and it's not usually very easy. Yeah,
not a user-friendly
it's not.
system or process. And you're right, there's a limit as to how much money is available or that you could get for a particular project.
Right. Yeah. And I think that would be my opinion personally as a renovator, is that would be your biggest problem, is that because it costs so much more, it's probably 1.5 times, I would guess.
Yeah.
Is just guessing. And you can't return your investment 50% faster. It's going to take 50% longer.
Right.
Unless you can get some kind of help at the front end so that your overall cost is the same as normal construction.
So I'm going to be devil's advocate for a minute here, right?
Sure.
Because if you were to do these renovations and not make an accessible space, whose pocketbook are you excluding from coming into your business? Right.
Exactly.
So when you look at the fact that 20% of Canadians identify as having a disability, and those people travel with, work with, live with other people that are also making decisions about where they go based on accessibility, that is actually 50% of the population.
Right.
So isn't that convenient that you said 1.5 times more, because maybe you're getting 50% more people coming through your door.
I hope so, yeah.
And you know what we do too, like, I agree totally with you, because because that, like, we can't go there because we can't get in or whatever, and that's what Cowbell has done, is made it totally inclusive for the whole family.
Exactly.
So we want the family to come up the street.
Yes.
And if there's a washroom that, like, they wanted to visit a place that didn't have an accessible washroom, I'm sure that our accessible washrooms would be glad to have people use the accessibility that we have here, for sure. And then, it works for the retailer as well, because when you come out, like, who's going to resist the chocolate in this place? Especially if Francis is handing out those oh my god cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
But we also, what we did too, on that, would be, because it does cost more, we also made it so that it worked better for the retail space. So moving that door to the north end, that's even a better idea for in here, because now we've got all this retail space that opens up, so we can just
you're not splitting
display things better.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in a way, forcing the door to go that way through accessibility, we've also it's also been a bonus for the retail space.
Yeah, it's opened you up. You've got that retail space and the maneuverability space, and from a COVID perspective, right? Because we have to look at that now as well. Physical distancing space, you've actually created that within the space here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though that wasn't the intent in the first place, right?
Well, yeah, COVID wasn't around when we started.
Yeah.
But also, the Francis is also they're gonna do well here because of people coming in, and we want them to stay for as long, like, we want to have a retailer that's successful. Yeah, exactly. So it all works.
Yeah. And when we do design, when Colleen and I design anything, before we make it look pretty, we design usage.
Yes.
Is most important, because if you do something incorrectly and it doesn't work for you, you're going to be reminded of that every single day.
and I remember, I don't even know how long it would have been, but the three of us sitting down with your plans on paper and looking at these spaces and saying, okay, how can we make that better? Is this going to work? What do we need to change? And doing that, moving the line on paper before you're having to move a wall because you've realized, oh crap, that was not the right decision, right?
It's morphed so much
Yes.
since we sat down and talked.
It's kind of like how we built our house, right? We had 42 different plans before we landed on the one that was actually going to be the winner. And so looking to the back, I'm reminded that we haven't talked about what's happening at the back of the store. So let's go have a look at what is happening at the back of the store. Whoops, I have a brake on.
That works for us.
There is a little slope. Yeah, it's pretty darn good, but I know in these old buildings, it's hard to get it perfect. So I'm just gonna show everybody what's going on back here because it's very exciting. Yeah, you're not gonna really be able to tell what's going on, but Shane and Colleen are gonna talk a little bit about it. So here's the back of the first floor of Sweets and Treats, and Shane's feeling very embarrassed about all of the crap that's back there, but you know what? It's like a messy mind is like a productive mind, right? Something like that. Okay, so guys, tell us about what's upstairs. Downstairs.
All right. Well, we have a hotel upstairs, 3 rooms, and
the name of that hotel is?
It's Hotel Lux. And so we've been open since October 2018. And when we design those, they're luxury hotel rooms, and we design them to be as accessible as you possibly can with the whatever, you have to go upstairs.
Yes.
So you have to be able to get upstairs. But then once you're up there, you can maneuver around your room because everything is it's the same threshold. There's no steps, there's the shower, 0 threshold. We've used color in the tile to mark for sight, so that people that have some vision limitations, they can tell that they're changing from a normal slope to a shower slope. So we use tile and design for that.
Oh, the tile is so beautiful. I've seen pictures of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun to do because it challenges you a little bit for your creativity. So anyway, we have that upstairs, and then we really wanted to do an accessible suite. And so that's what this mess is back here. It's going to be our accessible suite, and we plan to make it, it's like a challenge again to have an accessible washroom that has, the walk-in shower and the beauty of the marble or the tiles and the fixtures, and also be accessible for everybody. So that's the next challenge, and I've been thinking about it for a couple of years now. And I'm looking for it, but now we're almost here. This will be our next project.
And tell me, I have a feeling that this will be the only accessible accommodations in Blyth, right?
Yes, that's what we believe. Fully, because we will do it as a full accessible suite where you won't have to get over any ledges to get in.
No steps, no thresholds.
No.
Yeah. Which, that's just so exciting.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
It's a challenge, but it's going to be fun to do.
So when I have friends that come and visit, they need somewhere to stay if they don't, if I don't have a room in my house or whatever. So this is going to be the place.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for Hotel Lux and what is happening back here. But in the meanwhile, tell us again when the grand opening is of Sweets and Treats.
June 19th.
June 19th. Okay. So June 19th, come on to Blyth and you'll have gelato and chocolate and an amazing space. And if you need to use the bathroom, winner, it's accessible. So thank you everybody for joining me on Building Without Barriers today here live on location. It's so awesome to be out and about and still trying to be safe at the same time. So get your shot. Join me next week. I'm not sure where we're going to be, but we'll be doing something. So have a great week, everybody. Oh, yeah. And happy National Accessibility Week. Tell us how you are celebrating. join me on Facebook, post what you've done or what you who or what you want to celebrate this week for National Accessibility Week, and follow me on Facebook and on my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. Have a great week, everybody. Bye. Thanks, Colleen. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, everyone. Excellent.